Hello and welcome. This is Aarti Katira. The top news stories in this bulletin are: inflation has crossed all its boundaries where India is seeing a double-digit inflation which stands at 11.43% this week. With Ganesh Utsav round the corner and gold and silver prices piling upwards, this has not affected the devotees when it comes to offering their favourite deity. Mumbai Indians beat Kolkata Knight Riders in the last league match of IPL, James Franklin and Ambati Rayudu being the heroes of this match. Delhi Belly and Amir Khan produced film has finally hit the big screens, very much known for the usage of swear words in the movie. Crossword opens the biggest bookshop of India at Mumbai with over 9,000 titles and over 2 lakh books available for book lovers. The big story being inflation, which sat at its peak on a 9-month high touching 11.43% this week, a double-digit inflation where on one hand the government and RBI are mulling over the monetary policy as inflation is hitting our economy and growth. On the other hand, it has resulted to escalating prices which has made living for some costly, and here's what they have to say.
Now it is increasing like anything, so people can't meet their expenses, and there is theft and all wrong. They are trying all wrong means of getting money from.
If I just do a very basic calculation, what I understand is my inflation rate, the increase in inflation rates are not being taken care by any of those fixed deposits or any other savings which I get into.
समझ लो कि पहले भी मेरे को महीने का 15-16 हज़ार मिलता था, अभी समझ लो कि अभी 10-12 के आसपास गया है, मतलब 6-7 हज़ार का घाटा हो रहा है हर महीने में।
अभी महंगाई बढ़ेगा तो क्या कमी होएगा ना, उसमें हम लोग को परवड़ता था। कैबेज ज़्यादा, कैबेज का भाव अभी बढ़ गया, उसमें तो क्या नुकसान है हम लोग का।
हम मतलब जो बड़े लोग नहीं और एकदम गरीब को नहीं, जो मीडियम से जो लोग तो फर्क गिरता है।
And to travel and all just a few days back or a few months back, the BS tickets raised by 2 rupees for we might feel it's a small amount, but when it comes collectively it becomes large.
सर अभी सब भाव बढ़ गए अभी कि पगार तनख्वाह नहीं बढ़ता है, उलट तनख्वाह कम हो रहा है।
तो हर चीज़ टाइम पे टाइम बढ़ती है, लेकिन उससे उस हिसाब से पेमेंट नहीं बढ़ता है।
होम लोन महंगा हो गया, कार लोन महंगा हो गया, ना सब महंगा हो गया। ना हमारा भी है ना ये ना होम लोन है, उसमें भी अगर ना 1000 से 1500 रुपये बढ़ता है तो घर में इफेक्ट तो आएगा ही। आम आदमी क्या करेगा?
Earlier there used to be 2 or 3 kids. Now people can't afford even 1 kid also.
Inflation is nothing. It's caused only because hoarding of goods. Some shopkeepers, we need to keep a tag on them, and we really need to find what is the cause of inflation.
Nobody remains untouched by inflation. From a 15-year-old getting less pocket money to a 35-year-old struggling to manage his household. Rising prices is clearly forcing people to cut corners to survive. With camera person Rajendra, this is Aarti Katira for MRSC. Well, when it comes to effects of inflation, there's one thing it can't lay its hands on, that is faith and feelings of people. Yes, Ganesh Utsav being round the corner and Lord Ganesh, truly known as the god of wisdom and prosperity, where devotees are offering gold and silver as an expression of their thanksgiving irrespective of the cost. And here's the detailed report. This specially designed necklace for Lord Ganesh cost 1.5 lakh rupees, made of pure gold and gems, and the mukut embedded with gems cost nearly 1 lakh rupees. Many devotees extend their meager savings to include small articles and intricate ornaments of gold and silver as an offering to their favorite deity. Like Big Bali, the earrings made of pearl shawl which gives an exquisite look to the Lord. There are many such items like necklace of gold durva grass and hibiscus.
This is known as Yajnopavit or sacred thread, which is to be put on. This is known as Yajnopavit. This of course is a headgear, it is there, or the similar thing can be put on the arm also. The same similar thing it can be put on both arms.
Apart from the ornaments, there are various other things like a puja tray made of gold, vehicle of Ganesh, a 22-carat mouse, and of course Ganpati's favorite sweet, a modak which we can't eat. It's not just gold, 80% of total offering consists of silver, as it is comparatively affordable. The most sold item is the silver coin, even a small silver Ganesha which is normally kept along with the main idol.
गणपती वर्षातून एकदाच येतात, त्यामुळे सोन्याचा भाव कितीही वाढला तरी आमचा भावनेचा प्रश्न आहे, त्यामुळे किती भाववाढ जरी झाली तरी लाडक्या गणरायासाठी खिशातून 5 पैसे खर्च करायला आम्ही काही मागे पुढे बघणार नाही.
At a time when the prices of gold stands at 28,500 per 10 grams and silver at 63,000 per kg, the demand hasn't gone down.
Even when the prices of gold and silver are all-time high, Ganesh Chaturthi is one of the rare events where, for devotees, money takes a back seat and faith takes over. With camera person Kishore Pagare, this is Aarti Katira for MRSC. Another reason for the fans of Mumbai Indians to celebrate were Ambati Rayudu's heroic 6 for Mumbai Indians' victory. A perfect IPL-style cricket where it was a neck-to-neck match until the last ball, thus laying an enchanting environment and engulfing people around with anxiety. Here's an overview by me on this match. Nothing can be said until the last ball is bowled perfectly applies to this match. That Eden Garden tensed and at the same time cheering crowd, and where 4 runs were required from the last ball and Ambati Rayudu's aerial shot 6, which brought Mumbai Indians to a very much needed victory. A perfect 2020 match full of uncertainty and completely unpredictable, where you never know when things will turn around. The last over where it required 21 runs for Mumbai Indians to win, and well-deserving man of the match James Franklin hit 4 consecutive fours.
First ball 4. Oh, it's got a glove on it. He's drilled it through extra cover. He's nicked it for 4. Now, 4 off 1 ball. Can he bowl this last ball, and can he keep it down to 2 runs? Or 1 run maybe might be more important. Richard Lockwood's got his calculator out. He's working his fingers to... He's hit it out of the ground for 6.
James Franklin is the man of the match.
Thus bringing back hope for Mumbai Indians as they failed to get a good start, as Rajat Bhatia of Kolkata Knight Riders restricted Mumbai Indians' runs chase by taking precious wickets of Harbhajan Singh, Rohit Sharma and captain Sachin Tendulkar, who was caught out in 38 runs by the captain of Kolkata Knight Riders, Gautam Gambhir. This victory was very much needed for Mumbai Indians after 3 consecutive losses, and for Kolkata Knight Riders, who entered in the semi-finals for the first time and eyeing a second spot with a great run rate. They were the first one to go for batting after Mumbai Indians won the toss. Kolkata Knight Riders did put up a great competitive cricket with a challenging 176 runs as a target, and a great contribution from Jacques Kallis with 59 runs, and also Yusuf Pathan and Manoj Tiwari doing great on the batting front for Kolkata Knight Riders.
Oh, that's a big one. That is a big one. Nice way to bring up his half century.
Good innings of 59, 149.
There he goes, wastes no time. That's in the air, this should be taken. Yes! Gautam Gambhir.
Kolkata Knight Riders too had a staggering start as their opening batsman Goswami went out in the second over itself, and captain Gautam Gambhir was bowled out and went back to pavilion with just 8 runs. All thanks to Abu Nachim, who took their wickets, and Malinga and James Franklin too contributing on the bowling front.
Kallis will have... Oh, no.
Goswami has to go. It's 4 for 1.
Hold from Neesham coming around the wicket, taking the off stump. The skipper's gone. Out for 8, 22 for 2.
That's picked away and taken in the deep.
They are a good side, competitive side, and then we are prepared for that. We'll have to recover from this game and take forward this confidence.
With good mix of batting and bowling, Mumbai Indians are now 3rd on the chart with 18 points. League matches ending today, it's now time for playoffs, where Mumbai Indians will again have a face-off with Kolkata Knight Riders in the eliminator. We can't say anything about the chances, but surely cricket with unexpected twists. This is Aarti Katira for MRSC. With With various celebrations going around, even the censor board has adapted a new way for entertaining people by giving a green flag to verbally explosive Delhi Belly made with guts and gusto, which has finally released. With playful songs and witty dialogues adding on to the humor, here's what I felt about this movie. Hello and welcome, this is Aarti Katira. The most awaited and talk of the town movie, Amir Khan produced Delhi Belly, has finally hit the big screens. This movie has been doing rounds of the news because of the usage of cuss words in its script. But this in turn has really worked for the movie and has made it a top quality comic thriller. This movie revolves around the story of 3 roommates, and the action happens in the derelict apartment where we see that Tashi, a role of a journalist, is played by Imran Khan, and we have his photographer friend Nitin, which is played by Kunal Kapoor with his huge belly, and then we have Arup, which is played by Veer Das, playing a role of a cartoonist. Everything is just going plain and fine, and then we have twists and turns, and then we see a stoic gangster coming into the picture. It all starts when Tashi's fiancée, Sanya, that is played by Shahnaz, asks him to deliver a package, and that package has a doll which is full of diamonds. And then Tashi asks Nitin to deliver the package, but Nitin, unable to make it because of his stomach problem, asks Arup to do him a favor. But Arup swaps the package, and then we see that this stool sample of Nitin is received by a stoic gangster. And then the most important thing starts, and we see that ceiling crashes and there is firing here and there. Imran Khan's performance is at its best at this time, and then we see him trapped between love dilemma and fleeing from death.
मेरी शादी हो रही है.
Our newcomer Kunal Roy Kapoor has done a really good job, and by seeing him, I'm sure you'll think twice before having roadside food. And then coming down to Veer Das, we have him in his usual competent role where he is in his clown act. And again, we have Shahnaz perfectly fitting into a nagging fiance's role, and Purna complimenting Imran as a colleague. Delhi Belly has enough entertainment value with its mild twist in its movie, and which keeps you hold on to your seats. And this movie has perfectly targeted the bullseye, that is the youth brigade. The flip side to it is that this movie might not be appealing to all age groups, and also to those purists who don't like such language and abhor such words.
Basically, I like the vulgar scenes, and the best part of the movie was the orange juice scene, which I liked the most.
The best part of the movie which I liked was the performance of Kunal. It was really very humorous, and moreover the attractive part was the farting part of it, which really held my stomach and I couldn't stop laughing.
मुझे इमरान खान का परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा लगा, स्पेशली वो जो बुर्का पहन के जब दौड़ते हैं ना, वो बहुत अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि वो मतलब इतना दौड़ते हैं ना तो एकदम टॉम एंड जेरी जैसा लग रहा था.
Music starts with a slow K.S. Segal style music and ends with a pop audacious number done by Amir Khan, blending nicely 80s music with current narrative. I would rate this movie a 3.5 and a must watch for the youths out there. And this is not just because it will shock and give you hysterical bouts of laughter because of the bizarre events, but they will shock and awe you by the very nature of the events, and your laughters will be just on throughout the movie. Apart from watching movies, there are different set of people who prefer books for entertainment. To serve this purpose, Crossword, one of the biggest bookshop chains, recently opened the biggest bookstore in India at Kem's Corner in Mumbai. It seems the whole nation is sharing the hunger for more and more joyous reading. And to discover which magnetic charm attracts people, I too visited this bookshop. This place is like a paradise for book lovers where we see books are on demand and that they affect all the frontiers of our life. Here we see lots and lots of books around me where there are 9,000 titles and each title has its copies. These copies come down to 2 lakh books. And the first question that arises in the mind of the readers is which are the books which are best in the market? And here is the answer. We see the Shiva trilogy, Chetan Bhagat's 2020, and coming down we have Khalid Hosseini's Katira. So these are the top 20 books which are currently on demand. And then the next question that arises in the mind of the reader is which are the new books that have arrived in the market? And the answer is, well, here, which is divided into 3 sections. First section is business and management, where we see Arindam Chaudhary's new book, and down here we have Abdul Kalam's Target 3 Million, which talks about the strategy of eradicating poverty in the world. Then coming down to non-fiction. In non-fiction we have different books which are arrived new. The Guinness Book of World Record, the updated version, and then we have Limca Books of World Record, and obviously coming down to the fiction where we have new books like Shoaib Akhtar's Controversially Yours, and then The Fear Index by Robert Harris. So these are the new books which have arrived in fiction. Talking about fiction, we can say that fiction books help us escape the real world and gives lots of time to the readers to relieve themselves and come down to these bookshops and go through all these books which are there in front of them. These books provide good time escape for the readers. And then we have a different section out here which talks about Indian fiction. Indian fiction, yes. Indian writers have made mark across globe. And here we have Chetan Bhagat, who has made a revolution 2020 recently, and his new books. And his books too have adaptations in movies like his One Night at Call Center, which has a movie adaptation, a movie called Hello. And then coming down to our very own witty and humorous R.K. Narayan and his famous book, The World of Malgudi, the Malgudi Days, in which he connects to the reader's real life. So here we have variety of Indian fiction books. But apart from that, we have various foreign authors who have made their mark in the world, and the bestsellers are down here in different genres. Like here we see crime and mystery, a different section altogether where people who are interested in crime talk about that. And then coming further down, here we have romance, who are interested in romance. And coming down to romance, we have Noora Roberts' books. And yes, we have Eric Segal also down here, and the Daniela Steele book that we see here, Special Delivery, which is also on a love story. But apart from that, we have science fiction too, which has a scientific reasoning in the fiction touch. And here we see various science authors, and the most important one is Isaac Asimov. So moving forward, we see various, like you can see down here, we have a kid sitting on her aunt's lap and just reading books. Daddy's lap, and reading books and knowing what are the different animals that are there in his hand. And then we have this cute girl sitting down here with her and just reading books with her auntie. So how do you feel coming down here?
Yeah, it's really fun looking at the books.
So you can see that children are very much interested in these books, and they are actually reading at this stage where you see a small kid also coming down here and reading books. This bookshop also conducts book reading sessions every Sunday for children, and then there are book launches and also some discounts for adults. And then the entire section that we see down here, a coffee shop, nothing like it for adults to read books along with coffee. And then signing off, I also bought a book for myself, so I can't resist reading. So with a cup of coffee, I will end this with camera person Rajendra. This is Aarti Katira for MRSC. It seems even I wasn't spared from getting attracted to the charm which books had set around. Well, thanks for joining us. There's more news coming in, so keep watching Media Research and Study Center. trouble is brewing in Iran because of its nuclear ambitions, and it has already stopped its exporting of oil to Britain and France. We have our correspondent Navneet Venkateshwar on this issue. Navneet, tell me, what are the updates on this particular issue?
Yes, Aarti, there is a lot of uncertainty here in Iran as of now. In fact, it has stopped exporting oil to Britain and France, as you said, but that's not really had much of an impact on these two countries because they don't rely much on Iranian oil. Less than 1% of their oil requirements are met from Iran. However, there are other countries. Iran threatens that if the EU sanctions are further pursued, it will lead to the ban of oil exports to other European countries such as Italy, Greece, Netherlands, Spain, and who are all major consumers of Iranian oil. But furthermore, Greece is in big trouble because almost 30% of its oil requirements are met from Iranian oil. So yes, that's a lot of trouble for Greece there.
Correct.
Back to you, Aarti.
So, Navneet, you were talking about other European countries, but when it comes to India, how is it going to affect India?
See, India is the third largest consumer of Iranian oil. So this whole situation, because of the sanctions, India will not be able to, India is finding it very hard to make payments to Iran, as most of the banks will not process the payments that India could make for the oil. So a delegation of businessmen, or several businessmen, is going to Iran in the coming weeks, who will discuss the possibilities of other payment arrangements that can be made, and also a barter system is in the offing, whereby India could export food and other requirements to Iran, and Iran could in turn export oil to India. Aarti.
Yes. Okay. So Navneet, apart from European countries and India and other countries being affected, what do you think? Is military conflict on cards?
Military conflict is definitely in the offing because it's a good possibility, not definitely. There is a good possibility of military conflict because there have been a lot of threats from Israel, as well as US has also said that if the sanctions are not met with, and if Iran does not back off on its nuclear program, then military action will definitely happen. But even Iran has threatened, saying that if any military action is taken against it, then it will block the Strait of Hormuz, through which over 30% of the world's oil flows. So if the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, then the global economy is just going to go down the drain.
Okay, so Navneet, when it comes to global economy, is it going to affect in any way to the petrol or LPG prices in the near future?
I'm not able to get you. Could you please repeat?
The thing is, because of this global economy, the oil has an impact that you mentioned on the global economy and the prices of oil. But what do you think? Is it going to affect on the LPG or the petroleum prices?
Okay, see, the petroleum, as it is, the petrol prices are pretty high right now because of the tension, because of the uncertainties that are regarding the whole Iran problem. But as regards supply, there is no issue because Saudi Arabia has vowed that it will compensate for any reduction in oil production from Iran. But because if there is a war that might happen in Iran, that will lead to a lot of tension, which will definitely spike the prices in oil. Yes, definitely lead to a rise in the oil prices if there is a war. Aarti.
Correct. Yeah, so when it comes to Iran, again coming to Iran, what is this going to have an impact on Iran's economy, a positive or a negative impact on it?
See, the Iran's economy as such will be greatly affected by these sanctions because they will not be able to do any international deals because all of their accounts have been frozen, and Iranian accounts have been frozen even before. So Iran will find it very difficult to come out of this situation unless they can find a way to make barter arrangements with other countries, like what they are planning to have with India. Only then will they be able to meet even their basic needs, because these sanctions will not allow them to import even the basic necessities that Iranian people would require. So they would necessarily have to sign contracts. Also, Iran has come out and said that any country that wants to import oil from Iran will have to sign long-term contracts, say for 2 to 5 years, whereby they can have a proper contract and they can guarantee their security in terms of monetary terms. Aarti.
Correct. Yeah, so thanks Navneet for that update. So we can say that Iran is really going to have a tough time even after giving a sanction to European countries, because 20% of the revenue comes from oil exports and that it has to look out for options and deal with other countries to get more and more revenues. Let us move on to other news.